Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going through my wedding binders. This is just kind of going to be a DIY wedding planner that you don't have to buy, that you can just do all on your own, because my wedding planner was I just bought a couple of supplies and I literally just made my own wedding planning binder. So I'm sorry if I look like the biggest hot mess in the world, but I really didn't have time to get ready today. That's why my hair is in a ponytail, because my brother was in the hospital. So I will update y'all on that later in my vlog channel that'll eventually be up. So make sure you click the link down below in the description to figure out why my brother went to the hospital. But anyways, let's get started on this wedding planning binder. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through it. This is the binder that I chose. It's literally so simple and so dirty just because I used it so much. So it's just super super I'm pretty sure I got this from Walmart, but I will link similar things below in the description so that you can go and try to buy them as well. So we're just gonna open it up and we're just gonna see what's in here. I really don't know what is all in here, so we're going through this the first time all together. So let's see what I got. So the binder that I chose does have these pockets, and it is a ring binder. I really wanted to make sure it had rings, and I wanted to make sure I had a pencil pouch to carry just my small things in, and I just put bigger things over here in this pocket. And I also made sure the back part had pockets as well, and this is where I put other items. So first in this pocket, I did put our catering stuff in here. So Market Street did cater our wedding, so I did make sure to keep my catering book in here and just put it in that pocket. Okay, and this I didn't make until the very end, part of the wedding planning process. But this is my wedding itinerary. I basically made an itinerary for the whole entire day, which is so essential that you give one out to everybody and let them know what is going to be going on throughout the day. They're gonna wanna know, and you're not gonna wanna have people asking you questions on that day. You're just gonna wanna say, look at the itinerary, everything's in there, and it's gonna be good for your videographer and your photographer as well. And I was a little bit extra, and I made sure to make one for every single person. So this one is our efficiency planner. This one was Connor's sister and her husband, my bridesmaid, and these were just itineraries for me. So yeah, whatever. The first thing that I ended up buying for my wedding planning binder though was a monthly planner. We got engaged in February and we got married in December, so it was really easy to keep just one wedding planner. But you may need to buy a school planner if you're doing a couple years, or you may need to buy just two planners so you can have them for 2018 and 2019. But I definitely went and bought myself a planner. I think I bought my mom one as well. And basically I literally wrote down everything wedding that was going on, and I could totally do a video over my calendar for y'all, but I basically just used the Knot app. And I've said this before, the Knot app was the best thing that I ever invested in, just because I did not know what I needed to be doing, and the Knot app just put everything on a calendar view for me. And basically I just wrote those into my calendar so that I could see it for myself. Of course, I crossed out things whenever they were done. And I gave my husband one of these too, or my fiance at the time, and it was so good to have. You can see there's so much that goes on into wedding planning. This thing is jam full of stuff. Definitely get yourself a planner, put it in your wedding binder, put it where you can put it in safekeeping, because you are definitely gonna want one of these to keep your crazy head sane. Okay, and then I also just put my contracts and stuff in here, and this was the contract for my photographer, so make sure you have those handy just in case you need them. But I made sure I just put some of those in there. And this was our wedding invitations, so they gave me samples and stuff like that for my wedding invitations, so I could have a shiny glossy finish or a matte finish. They gave me, I can't remember where the other one is, I think it's back here. Yeah, so they gave me just a couple of options. So this was the matte finish, this one was the glossy finish, and I could choose between which one I wanted, but I just made sure I kept those samples in my binder as well. Okay, and now let's move on to my pencil pouch. So I think I've showed y'all these before, but I kept my color swatches in my wedding binder just so I could, there's so much stuff in here, just so I could have them just in case I needed them, because I literally brought my wedding binder to everything that I went to, like my cake, if I was picking the venue, whenever I was picking the photographer, you know, I made sure I had these color swatches, and I made sure I had my binder just in case I needed it. So I kept the color swatches in my binder just so I could show people kind of what theme I was planning on doing. I also made sure I had these for the florist. These are gonna be really important to keep for that. So I went to like this wedding thing that there was just like so many vendors there, and you could like get to know people, and I just got so many like cards and stuff like that. I think this is the receipt for catering. So yeah, keep your receipts too. So I just kept like all these cards, appointment reminder thing. This is the venue I actually got married at. So I just made sure I just kept all that in the pencil pouch. I think I used to have a pencil in here also, but I think I took it out because I needed it for something or something like that. I had the great idea to like do a seating arrangement for my family. So this is that, and this is kind of where I wanted everybody to sit during the ceremony. And I just kind of like labeled them. So I just like kept those papers in there. The first tab I had was for important information. So definitely one of the most important things I had in here was my venue contract. So I just have all of this in here, all my initials. I made sure that they gave me copies of everything. I had the venue policy so I could go over it, make sure I wasn't breaking any of their policies, like making sure I didn't, you know, light any candles whenever they said that we couldn't light any candles or whatever. And this is like the pricing and like what we rented from the venue and everything like that. And then I just had some extra paper just in case I needed it. And then the second tab that I have is a budgeting tab. So I was like super good at budgeting at the beginning of wedding planning, but towards the end I got pretty bad at it, so I probably only have like half of this filled out. This is what we rented from a wedding vintage store, and like the cost and price. So my mom and I looked over this and decided, you know, we did X and checks marks over the stuff that we could and couldn't afford. This is my budget. So I made sure I did a budget, and then I tried always to write the budget down, like how much I budgeted for, and then I would always try to write out next to it what we actually spent. So some stuff we spent more money on, and some stuff we spent less money on. It's just kind of how wedding planning goes. You can't really budget exactly what you're gonna spend, but you can have that. You can try to have a budget and try to stick to it. If you have a budget, you're more likely to stick to it, and it'll give you a better idea of what your wedding is actually gonna look like based on these prices, and you can start looking stuff up and doing research and stuff like that, then figure out what you can do. So I had all of my stuff budgeted, and I even wrote next to it like, my dad's gonna pay for this, my mom's gonna pay for this, Connor's family's gonna pay for this, I'm gonna pay for this, my husband's gonna pay for this. I even wrote all of that out just because I'm a little OCD, and so I needed to know what I needed to do. Also, some more extra pages, but the budgeting part is definitely the most important, and you can definitely do this like on Excel or something like that. I just really like handwriting it all out. Okay, and then the third tab that I had was ceremony. So in the ceremony tab, I had this clear plastic thing, kind of like, you could probably get another pencil holder, but I just had this clear plastic thing, and it had like everything I needed to know about my venue and other venues. It's kind of where I kept things for the venues that I toured, and I just like kept pricing and stuff like that in here, and little brochures and stuff like that in here, and that's pretty much all I kept in the ceremony area. And then on the reception side, of course, was the food. All of the food went in here. So I had another clear plastic, I don't know what this is called, clear plastic thing. And of course, Market Street ended up going over all the pricing and stuff with us whenever we went and decided that we wanted to use them for our catering. And this was from my cake place. It was called Simply Decadent. So they just had a little brochure that I kept. Other cards and stuff. I actually didn't end up using this place, but I made sure to keep their card just in case. Oh, this was the cute, okay, this place has an Etsy shop. I'll link it down below. It's called Let's Top That. Our cake topper was so cute. If I can insert a picture, I will right here. It's called Let's Top That. Oh my gosh, it was the cutest wedding topper ever. So definitely go check out her cute little Etsy shop. And then I also had the wedding guidelines from our caterers, kind of a more detailed outline of what all we were gonna be getting for our catering price. And then a couple other prices that I got from a couple of the cake shops that we went to, some other contracts. Okay, and this is also where I kept all of the decorations that I wanted. So I wrote out all the decorations, and I had kind of a system where, so the pencil mark star was like ordered. The purple was that I already had it in possession. And wrote everything down because I knew the reception was gonna have like the most decorations, so I just kept that in the reception area. It really doesn't matter, you can put it in the wedding ceremony area, but so I did write every decoration, everything that I needed to buy, boutonnieres, everything down so that I could make sure that I got it there to the wedding and didn't forget anything. This really helped me on the day before our wedding and the day of our wedding to make sure just we had everything. And we ended up like not really forgetting anything, so it was really nice to have. I did make a tab for my guests, but I ended up not using it because I used the Not Wedding Planner app again for all my guest lists, and I will make sure I link the app below, but you can do your whole guest list in that app, so I ended up not even using this tab, but I had paper for it just in case. Okay, and then the next tab, I don't even know what number I'm on, I'm probably like 5 or something like that, is the attire tab. This is from Men's Warehouse, so this is like for my husband's tuxes and the groomsmen and stuff like that. I had all of their information in here. I also had our bridesmaids dress information in here, and I really didn't even have anything for myself because I found my dress so fast that I like didn't have anything to put in there. Like we found it, we bought it, and it was fine. With my bridesmaids, we actually ended up putting theirs a layaway, is that what it's called, layaway? And so I made sure to keep the receipts so that I could tell them that we paid a little bit on it. Okay, and the next tab is my photography tab. I did photography and videography, so I have a little clear plastic thing in here, and this is just for our videographer and like the costs and stuff like that. And that's pretty much all I kept in here because I kept the other photography stuff at the very front with the important stuff. Okay, the next tab I have on here is Florist, and the same place that did our catering did our floral as well. And so they just kind of gave me like a detailed, this is like the bride's bouquet costs $100, the attendant's bouquets cost $75. So they just kind of gave me like a price breakdown, so I just kept that in here. Also, if you don't have a 3-hole punch, make sure you go get one of those because I needed to hole punch a ton of this stuff. And then this in here was what they wrapped, I think it was this one, what they wrapped around my bouquet, and then kind of the color scheme that oh, this was the ribbon that went around my bouquet, and then of course some extra paper. Okay, and the next tab is the rehearsal, and I literally didn't put anything in here because my husband's family did all of it, and I didn't need to put anything in that tab. This last stuff was just miscellaneous. So this was like all of our honeymoon stuff. This was like our hotel and flight information that I just made sure to keep in this binder just in case we ever needed it. If anything went wrong and they said that we didn't like have our honeymoon booked or something like that, I had the confirmation in here. And some more extra paper. And then the last thing I put in here was the list for songs that I wanted the DJ to play. Like I had a pre-ceremony list, I had a ceremony list of the songs that I wanted to play while walking down the aisle and while my parents walked down the aisle. I wanted certain songs played during the reception, and then of course I had all the dance songs I wanted. My first dance with my husband, and my first dance with my dad, and my husband's and my mother-in-law's first dance, and kind of like the garter toss and the bouquet toss songs that I wanted to be playing. So I made sure and made a list for our DJ, my husband's brother-in-law at that time, who's also my brother-in-law. So thank you for doing that, and thanks for dealing with my OCD-ness. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for sticking with me through it, even though this binder is kind of a hot mess since the wedding. But if you're new, make sure you subscribe and make sure you comment below. And then also make sure you like this video if you liked it. And I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys so much. Bye.